on the topic. We even saw like fish and such swimming above us. Um, I think it was Boros that talked to a fish.
Yeah, I remember
And
talking to someone. I don't know if it was a fish or not. I guess it would have
It was
happened.
a fish with a person's face on it.
Yeah, and he didn't really give me anything though.
yeah, well, they did though. They did. They gave you the direction. Eventually, you got to the point in the conversation where you actually got it to give us the direction um, of the continent that I'm missing the name of. The new continent that rose after the gods were killed.
Empyrea.
Empyrea. Sorry. Then it is literally a part of the name of the short campaign. So,
That's true.
but anyways, it got it. Boros got it. I don't know what it is, but fish or otherwise, I guess, to give us the direction. It didn't want to go anywhere near it. Sounded afraid of that concept. And we began to head that way. On the way there, we did believe this happened before finding the ship. We came across I believe, two of the creatures that looked like the one that had killed the doctor on the ship. And after it pretty much blamed us for what happened because of using holy magic or divine magic. And we were attacked. Fight ensued. We eventually won the ordeal. And Metis saw something. I don't remember what you saw. That was off in a different direction. I think it was a star of some kind.
Sparkly stars going up.
Yeah. And wanted to pursue that. However, we also saw the wreckage of what we assumed to be the ship. So for the time being, Metis was willing to set it aside and go with the group over to the ship as we investigated it. Found some chests that were opened and looted for the gain of the party. There was a inter-party small conflict between Periwinkle and Rashid, which ended up going fine ultimately for the party. And then one more thing. Oh no, I'm sorry. Before we get to that one more thing, we also found the casket that was chained down on the ship. There was an axe by it that was magical that is now held by Uzak. And the casket was already open, Jake? Question mark?
Yes, it was.
Was it already open? Okay. And there was a glow. Red, I believe.
As there were runes inside of it.
Right. Periwinkle rubbed his weapon along one first, and the rune, after a moment, the rune disappeared, and Periwinkle's weapon became magical. Everyone, minus Uzak, who had the axe, followed this process, as all of our weapons weapons and shield, in the case of Boros, became magical. And then one last thing before we could go, delay Metis before we would delay Metis any further, we came across the was the captain, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a blood trail to the captain.
Yeah.
That's correct.
And And then they, despite being dead, quote unquote, there was something causing their chest to move as if breathing. A interaction was had, and after messing about with them for a bit, and something got cast on them. I don't remember what. But the thing that was inside of the captain ended up politely putting it, came out to join us and explained that it was also Metis. And that it was also going towards the starry twinkles that Metis saw as it head out before us. Metis seemingly was unfazed. In fact, almost seemed pleased to meet another Metis. And with nothing else for us to further distract from what Metis was really wanting to explore, and Metis having politely waited that long, we all went towards what Metis saw. And eventually, it led us to where we are now, where the energy or water or both has begun to distort the things that we see. Well ahead of us, seeing the potentially god creature or whatever it actually is, if not that, that wrecked our ship. Above, massive angelic-looking skeleton that may or may not be a very big angel or a god or who knows. I'm sure I missed a great number of little things, but I feel like I got the key things.
Would anyone like to add anything to this recap of Ben's to emphasize anything else that may have been missed or anything else of the sort?
I've got nothing.
As it seems like, I was just giving him a moment. That is the case then. As it seems that we are good to go then. Picking up where we left off. With you all now standing as you are in presence of this massive corpse. Skeletal remains exuding divine power that pulses out through the bottom of the sea. Sorry?
No, sorry. No, my bad.
No worries.
Go on.
No worries. As we pick up where we left off, the large creature that had sundered your ship, letting out low cries as it does, wraps itself around the corpse. And as it does wrap itself around the corpse, you begin to hear what sounds like, from that direction, a sort of sucking sound, as if something is suctioning to the corpse from the creature, as you'd see it begin to run its hands and large tentacles across the entirety of the corpse. Not really knowing the nature of this beast or the nature of what you're seeing at all. All you can surmise, perhaps, is that it is trying to look for something or get something. You're not quite sure. Strange to say the least, as you hear this sound exuding from it. And before anything else happens, what do you all do?
For that, there's a little bit of static that I'm hearing from you only when you're talking, and it's not making you hard to hear. I just want to.
Is everyone else hearing that?
Yeah, I'm hearing like a
The
static kind of
slightest.
effect.
Yes, but I'm not worried about enough for the game.
Not a big deal, no.
Yeah.
Still sound the same?
You have to talk more than that.
Okay, well, we'll see how it goes. And we'll leave it at that for now.
Sorry about that.
No worries. As what do you all do?
What in the hell is that? Uzak is whispering, obviously.
It's that big fish that almost killed us.
So we see him before you don't recognize him.
It's not, that's not what I was talking about. The thing that it's on top of.
Oh, I think it's like a skeleton or something.
Is that the skeleton of one of the gods?
Oh, I don't know about that. Could be like a fish man.
I mean, I don't see very fish-like qualities. It's very humanoid.
Well, doesn't have any skin. All the fish parts would be there, I would assume.
Okay, I'm not trying to make assumptions about any sort of fish man, but
Can both of you shut up right now? You're bickering about the origins of a skeleton when the creature that could kill us with little effort is very close.
Do we do?
well, I mean,
Should we try to get his attention off it?
what?
Why would we want its attention?
You broken the brain, boy?
I didn't say to us. I said off the skeleton. I was just like looking for something. Maybe we can find it.
You don't know what it's looking for, so how could we find it?
Well, maybe we look.
Maybe we look better, is that what he said?
Yeah.
Granted, it does seem like we have eyes and it doesn't, but even still.
Yeah. We have multiple sets of eyes here between us, huh?
And
So
how are
we-
you going to distract it? To make it
Why are
go
we even entertaining
elsewhere?
this thought?
I don't know. Because we're curious. Aren't you kind of curious? I mean,
Let's not debate curiosity. Metis, you suggested the idea. How would you distract it?
I was thinking maybe we could like scare a fish so it swims by him, and then he'll follow the fish.
Why would he follow the fish?
Because if it gets like real close, he's got that predator brain, or maybe I don't know. He seems kind of like a mindless predator.
You think this guy's getting distracted by every fish that flies by him?
Well, I feel like most would avoid him, so that way, like if one did go by him, he'd be like, "Ooh, food."
He's not they are not a mindless predator. That should be clear as day.
I'm trying. I don't really have many other ideas, honestly.
Good, let's keep it that
knows how
way.
you could distract them.
But
Go ahead, Periwinkle.
And Periwinkle will point at Boros, Rashid, and Uzak.
And
Periwinkle will point out that it was very upset when a god was called upon.
And it came right for us.
Yes, Periwinkle said Periwinkle knew how to distract it, not that it was a good idea.
Okay. Distractions that don't involve one of us committing suicide. Any distractions that involve one of us getting its attention and dying is not even worth considering.
hey, what does this environment look like to us? Is there anything in this area that we could, besides the two obvious things, that might stand out?
Yeah, I mean, as you look around, observing the area, you see what looks to be up in this corner here, what looks to be the makings of what was ruins, maybe? Stonework laid down. As you'd see scattered throughout the entirety of the area, what looks to be more of those stones, covered in, moss and wear from being at the seafloor. You can certainly see. And there's like a bit of those all around everywhere. Aside from that, there are shattered fragments of some sort of metallic item you're not quite sure that lie above the head of the skeletal corpse. Of note, aside from the actual description of the place as you all were approaching, the light was emanating off of the skeletal figure. The divine energy coursed out in waves, and the visual effect on the map is sort of distorting visually around all of you, as well as the wavy air about it. It all looks very strange. And of note, there are no other bits of life, marine or otherwise, that are clinging around this area. And the sound of the sort of sea, like things about, is completely silent here. Go ahead, sorry.
No, that's right. I have a question.
Mhm.
The sources of light that are coming from the corpse, right? I see, obviously, as like, the God view player, that there are like two sources, that like one is coming from like the chest area and then one is coming from the knees. Is that intentional, or were you?
Yeah, no, that's just sort of how the lighting fixtures work in Foundry.
Okay,
it is
I wasn't sure if
not
two sources.
It is not indicative of anything of that sort. I will say it does seem from the chest of this creature is where the light seems to emanate from.
Gotcha.
But aside from that, yeah, no, like down here, that's just because I couldn't extend it in any other way. It is all exuding.
That was my
from
question.
the chest.
Yeah.
But yes, it does
two
exude
sources.
from the chest area. And if Uzak is looking that way, he can roll me a perception check.
Sure. Just perception. Oh, here it is. That's right. Yeah. Oops. Yeah, I don't see shit.
Yeah, I
I'm blind
mean,
by the light.
as you look about with the distortion from the raw power in the area and the caution that you're getting from this creature, you avert your gaze and do not notice anything aside from the fact that I'll give you, even with a critical failure, it does seem as though this thing's probing attempts are around the upper half of this thing's body.
Okay.
This thing's massive, right?
Yes.
And are there a lot of rocks, boulders, and such between us and the giant corpse?
Yeah, no, I'd say that that's certainly the case. If you were trying to like take cover or anything like that, absolutely. You can certainly tell that. To describe this area a little bit better, it almost seems like this area is almost like a crater in some ways. That something of heavy force smashed down here, forming this sort of not quite crater because it's not circular. It's more sort of rectangular. It's not a neat shape either way, but almost like this sort of chasm or cliffside was formed by something crashing down here. And there are large bits of debris and rock all about, sort of everywhere.
Okay.
Whatever this thing is, it wiped us out above, when we were on a ship above water. What do you think it's gonna do when we're in water?
Well, it can't sink us anymore, so.
You got me there, Metis. You got me there.
Jake, does the divine energy feel familiar to any of us? Anyway.
No, I wouldn't say that it does.
Okay.
Divine energy, I would say, generally feels pretty samey between outside of specific invocations of deities. But you are not feeling anything that any of you would recognize.
Periwinkle is gonna hop off of Boros and hide and start slowly working his way towards the skeleton.
Are you sure?
You know, moving from small. Yep.
You can roll me a stealth check, considering your size and being distracted. You can roll it at advantage, so when you click the roll, say keep higher.
Where would it say?
So what you'll click stealth.
Found it.
Yeah, there you go.
Oof. Damn it.
Is that what the roll is going to be?
I could use a hero point, right?
Yes.
Not on that, I don't
Well,
think.
let me see, because is it a fortune effect if you're given advantage by the GM?
It says fortune on it.
No, I understand it says it, but it's not because of something that he did. It's something that I gave.
Oh, you're wondering if it technically considered.
Yeah, well, because it's like
Mm.
having advantage because of a circumstance versus having advantage because, oh, I got advantage from this fortune effect. I would say as a rule, for me at the very least, I don't know what Pathfinder's official ruling on it, but if you guys are getting advantage based off of a circumstance that I think you're in, it's not a fortune effect, so you can hero point that. It's not going to let you press the hero point button, so you can just re-roll it once. It's not the difference anyway, like at all.
Okay. 14.
Okay. So that will be a 14. And you're beginning to move closer?
Yep.
Sure. Give me 1 second.
Hey, maybe if we wait here long enough, it'll just leave, and then we can investigate.
Jake, I forget. Is there what is passive perception again? What is that calculated as? Or is it just
So if
right?
you're referring to sort of the passive that's 10 plus the modifier, I believe.
10 plus the modifier. Okay, I wanted to see if, like, passive perception, I notice Periwinkle because he's so small, like, going off, you know.
Was Periwinkle intentionally trying to obfuscate from his teammates that he was doing this as well from the party?
Not at first, no.
Okay,
Even still, I think because he's so small, I'd say that, like...
Yeah, no,
if
but
he's,
I would say if he's not intentionally doing it, any of you who... And again, it's a judgment call on your part. If you feel your passive isn't high enough to notice that, you're certainly allowed to do that. But I would say you're at the very least able to see him begin to take off. Boros, at the very least, probably notices it because Boros is the one that Periwinkle's sort of getting off of, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So...
Yes, Periwinkle would have left. Boros would just be like,
Uh,
where do you go?
Seeing Periwinkle, even after starts stealthing, and hearing Metis start to talk again, Rashid is going to, like, he's not going to grab your mouth, Rashid, or, Rashid. Everyone's Rashid now. Metis. But he's going to, like, as if he was grabbing your mouth just in front of your mouth, going to make a closing motion with his hands.
Well, I don't think Metis was talking, was it? Wasn't it Boros that was just saying that?
Oh, Boros just said something. Metis said something before Boros.
Oh, okay, my
Yeah, I
bad.
think-
I'm sorry, I lost track of what was going on there.
Uzak and Metis were, like, arguing.
Yeah,
kind of.
that's on me.
He makes that closing motion, and then holds up the index finger indicating just wait.
Periwinkle.
Freezes and blinks.
Yep.
Uzak
as-
turns away from Metis to see Periwinkle moving away, and Uzak just slaps his forehead. His own forehead.
Periwinkle,
not
as
Periwinkle's
you
forehead.
begin to approach, moving as carefully as you do, trying to be as quiet as you can, making it to one of the rock walls. As you do, and as you sort of get cover in it, you would hear from the rock wall that you sort of brush by what sounds like clamoring, as if the rock from, years of being eroded by possibly the ocean water gives way some as bits and pieces of rubble crumble to the ground. Not a very loud sound, mind you, but loud enough as the creature shoots up back and glares out. Looks back. It doesn't really have eyes, so you can't necessarily make out a glare, but its head looks out that way as tendrils rise from it, the direction of you all. As it does, however, its body sharply turns back toward where it was, surveying around, and you see it take both of its large clawed hands and just rake them against the chest of the large skeletal form. And as the raking happens, you all hear just sounds like a terrible grinding sound of metal slapping against metal, it almost sounds like, and sparks shoot up from around the area where he was striking. In a roar of seems like obvious rage, the creature just bellows as the area around you all shakes, but then it rises up from the corpse and just swiftly swims away from it as it begins to swim off screen, vanishing in a rage as it leaves.
Periwinkle's gonna take advantage of that and start moving swiftly towards the corpse.
Sure, you guys can move yourselves as you do, if you'd like.
Yeah, Rashid, be going away now. Now you can talk.
Run to the corpse.
You don't think that's bait? You don't think it's leaving?
No, I don't.
If you say so.
As you all begin to approach, arriving at the massive corpse of this angelic figure, its large, disheveled angelic wings sit soaked, yet intact at the bottom of this sea. Its bony form, what looked to be having been adorned in beautiful golden armor once before, ruined. The one thing you do notice as you begin to approach where the creature's most intense efforts were being held, this large chest area. In the chest area, you see what seems like, at first, what looks like a plating of armor that is built inside of the ribcage of this creature. But as you look closer, it looks almost like a bony growth that is made, that looks metallic. It has a bone-like construction, but is a metallic gleam to it. From between the almost bone-like, rib-like cage that this thing lays in the chest of it, you see the light of the divine energy pouring out, as if something lies within the chest, protected by this growth. And you feel intense divine energy just all around you as you are here.
I mean,
Something is in the
Periwinkle's
middle.
going up to where the glowing part of the chest is. Is there any place small enough for him to squirm through?
There would not be.
Okay.
Uzak would move at an angle to see the corpse's adornments and, well, obviously it's a skeleton, but, its face, any sort of, anything that's still wearing or whatever. Does this give me any indication as to which god, or if I'm
roll me a
assuming this is
religion
God?
check.
Religion. Proficiencies, religion. There it is.
Examining over the corpse as you look over its divine gear, looking it over and seeing if you could find any indications of what this could be. Give me one moment as I'm pulling up my thing so I can get the name correct. 14 is going to get you. What it is, I just...
No worries.
You see symbols of storms etched upon the armor worn by this figure. Waves crashing. Signs of the uncaring sea. And a cold that exudes around the entirety of the corpse. You believe you are looking upon the corpse, if it is of a god, the god Thalceptus, the uncaring cold, god of the sea and storms. If not a god, one of his divine court, perhaps? But nevertheless, the markings are pretty unmistakable to you as you look upon it.
Which remind me which god Boros worshipped?
Did Boros ever mention that?
I mean, he's mentioned like a god, right? Is he seeking right in his?
He's
It
mentioned her name.
was- Yeah, what was it? Let's see.
So you have, but to be clear, you have mentioned to the party what god Boros.
Believe he did.
Okay,
Yeah, I
no,
think,
that's fine.
on occasion, yeah, a couple times.
I
Like,
just
you
wanted
say,
to
like,
confirm
oh,
that. It's been a while, and I didn't want to,
out him.
do anything that
was
Penetar,
I
the
think?
Horned Watcher, yes, the
Yes.
goddess of
Okay.
God,
nature
woods and
stuff.
rivers. Yes, the Horned Watcher.
And I know Rashid was the same god as me because that was a point of contention.
Mhm.
So okay, yeah, I just wanted to make sure this wasn't somebody's god, I guess.
Periwinkle, what do you see?
Yeah, actually, Periwinkle, roll me a perception check as you look in. I should have asked for that before. My apologies. Jacob? Oh, he's deafened. Okay. So, unfortunately, Periwinkle cannot see anything. If anyone else was approaching to look in with Periwinkle, they could also roll a perception check.
Sure.
Perception.
I just wasn't trying to. I was trying to not take it from him since he was there first. That's
Well,
why
he
what
needed
I
to take
did.
a call. He just posted in chat, so
Gotcha.
I figure we should move forward without, you know.
Let's get that out of the way now.
Hopefully.
Hey, duality. Bottom, middle, and top.
Yeah.
Apologies, I'm picking away at my dinner.
Eat your food.
Rashid, Boros, as the two of you gaze into this strange, bone structure within the ribcage, you cannot note it. You don't, see within. The light is too blinding for you to see past its splendor. Uzak, however, and Metis, as the two of you gaze into, this, strange gilded, strange metallic piece. As you look at it, there's shine and luster to it, almost is gilded in its make, as if it is gold, though somewhat muted by the light and the seawater all around. The more you look at it, the more it resembles almost a gilded cage made of bone, shining with that luster. And as you look inside, you would see a strange fixture within. What looks to be a crystalline heart that lies within, massive in size, what looks to be the size of at least, the entire one of you's, normal body size. Boros obviously being bigger, but each of you would be smaller than it. And the crystal gives off this prismatic glow, reflecting, different colors that shift, constantly moving throughout.
There's some sort of crystal heart in there. That's what's giving off the light. If you squint your eyes real tight, you could just make it out. It's beautiful.
How big is it? Can you grab it?
It's about as big as I am.
Rashid just kind of look before you walk past me, so that I'd be looking away from the light at you at the moment. Rashid would have looked at you. He was clearly measuring your words for honesty or whatnot, inciting you for D&D terminology.
Yeah.
But he'll nod his head to you after that. Is it possible to obscure it? As Rashid starts to look around for things that could be potentially brought over to cover it.
You're gonna need some pretty thick curtains if you want to stop this shine.
I merely
also-
wish to protect its divine energy from creatures like that thing.
Maybe you could break into pieces.
Yeah, split it among ourselves.
Maybe I could break into pieces?
No, break the gem heart into pieces.
You
So
would
we can-
shatter a object of divine source from what was clearly a divine creature?
Well, they're not using it. Besides, it's to get away from the other one, so...
Look, we don't know if any sort of force applied to this thing is gonna backfire. Let's be a little cautious. I know it's strange coming from me. But even still, if you say you want to obscure the shine, you don't think that's gonna cause just as much of a not disturbance. It would be just as, I guess you would say, like, it would be just as conspicuous to stop the light that has been clearly here for a long time as, you know, and as anything. And also, like, if Uzak looks around, you said that there's, like, no fish or any other life around here,
That's
right?
correct, yes.
I think, you know, it takes either a strong sort, like that thing that was just on top of it, or idiots like us to even want to approach this thing. Look around you. There ain't no life. So whatever this thing may be, I think it's got its own means of protecting itself. So let's just think about this for a sec.
I'm surprised I'm thinking this, but wise words, Uzak, and knowing that the gods fell likely caused my arrogance in thinking a fallen one or kin of a god would need the help of a mere mortal.
Well, Metis was right that whatever this thing was, it ain't here now, although maybe that heart begs to differ.
A piece of it clearly remains. It's like being bathed in divine energy. Just
Feeling
being near it.
Feeling I've not known for what feels like quite a while. No. No, not Arcana.
What is it you're trying to do?
Can hear you, Jake. You're far away.
He said, "What are you trying to do?"
What is it you're trying to do? Yes.
I guess an investigation to see if the heart itself is, you know, again without touching it. I guess this would be perception then. Is the heart like, you know, obviously it's chiseled in, or, you know, craft or whatever it may be, into the shape of a heart. But is there any sort of damage on it, or is it like a smooth surface? Like it is just like, you know.
I'll give you
I don't know
without a roll. You got a
Yeah.
nat 20, so that's fine.
Okay.
You do not notice any damage upon the crystalline heart nor the gilded cage it's within.
Okay, so texture-wise, it seems like just like smooth, I guess.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay, so examining the cage now, is it a completely, like, well, you said it's a cage, but is it like, you know, a locked box, or is there like, or is it that say, is there a lock on it, or is it just
No,
confined in this
cage is, you know, descriptive almost of the what it seems like, but there's no indications of a lock or anything like that. It's just bone wrapped around in a cage-like shape.
Oh, okay, I see.
Gilded bone.
Gotcha. have any magics? No, not really. Hmm. Can I guess there's no history checks in Pathfinder.
What are you
Different kind of
trying to
knowledge checks.
discern?
I would like to. Okay, so I was able to guess that it was like either the god of storms that you said, or it's like one of his followers or something like that. Thinking about that guy, from what I can remember of them, do I know if they had any? Well, obviously storms, but do they have any like sort of preferences, things they like, things they don't like? They said the sea and the storms, right?
Trying to recall specific ritualistic things or anything like actual like devotion to the god.
Yeah.
Roll me another religion check, as it would be religion still. So not your god,
Not my guy.
and a god that is pretty far overall from your domain.
Mhm.
Recalling things about it, you recall that the name Uncaring Cold spoke well of the type of god it was. It was a uncaring and distant god, one that people prayed to more out of safety, to, appease, to protect from storms and the cruelness of the sea from taking them. With that roll that you rolled, cursory knowledge of the god itself, nothing more intimate. You do not recall anything aside from prayer that was done in sort of reverence and respect to ask for safe passage is all you remember of this deity.
Mm.
Correct me if I'm wrong. You haven't shared.
No, but I'm about
got
to.
it?
I'm
Okay.
about to. He would turn to Rashid, being another man of gods, and say, you know anything about Thalceptius?
Alceptus.
Thalceptus.
Do I take?
I would say your knowledge is pretty similar to Uzok's in that it is a far deity away from the domain that you worship, so.
Yeah. If you gave me a roll, I was going to ask for disadvantage because of where my focus points were for the character. Just the unbiased uncaringness of anyone, and that we're kind of in what would have been one of their domain.
You got that right. Well, based on the iconography of this here fella's garb, I'm assuming this is either the god himself or one of his followers. I don't know what that tells us, but maybe the fact that its resting place is the sea has allowed it to preserve itself in some respect in this crystalline heart. That's just a guess. Obviously, ain't my god, so I don't know much about him, but there's certainly something here. A power, clearly. Whether we want to be messing with it or whatnot is a decision we're gonna have to come to, but that squid fella seemed to be after this. Maybe he wanted to uncage this heart, get after maybe what's inside. Can't say for certain.
It wished to end people that were using divine magic. It may be either trying to destroy it or consume it.
As good a theory as any. Interesting, though. And like Uzak, would eye the heart kind of curiously. He's like, if this is the god and this part of it has lasted, maybe that's why fellers like us are still able to call upon the divine. That the gods may not be fully dead, or not as much as formerly claimed.
Their essence of divine energy may remain.
Sending it out like a pulse.
Whether or not their minds and wills exist anymore. Gonna look over at Boros. How's he handling this?
I'm waiting for someone to tell me to try and punch through it and get the crystal.
He's gonna be waiting a while.
He seems to be taking it in, stealing glances at the glowing chest thing from time to time, but pretty quiet.
I'd like to look around, like the chest cavity besides the caged crystal heart. Anything else stand out? Like whether it be like, I don't know, like maybe like something that possibly attached it to the corpse itself, or like maybe it was just free floating. I don't know.
It just sort of seems to free float there. I mean, as you look over, nothing. As it all looks as described and as you can see. So nothing else of note as you look upon the corpse. I'll give perhaps inside the rib cage. It's not attached to it in any sort of way that you can see.
Mm-hmm.
I will give you that the bones of the corpse itself, as you glance them over, seem somewhat damaged in a strange way. Any of you look closer at them probably make out what looks to be signs that they've been picked at over and over again.
By a large creature or small creature?
Multitudes of creatures, it seems.
Okay. Where's a button? Where's a button? I like this button. Let's try this one. Okay. No, that's good. The critical failure part doesn't matter so much as that it's less than what it was in my head. Anyway, Uzak's gonna be like, yeah, fuck it, man, and he's gonna touch it.
Try to touch the cage.
Yeah.
As you reach out to go and touch the cage, give me a fortitude save.
Fortitude.
Yeah, that would be a fail as you reach out to touch it and you feel a intense burning sensation exude around you as you just feel your pain course through as your hand burns up, as you are going to take 13 spirit damage.
Spirit? Does that affect anything but my
No, it's just damage.
Okay.
But it burns away at you as you go to try and touch it, not even actually being able to touch the cage itself as the burning exudes out.
Uncaring god my ass, you clearly don't like being touched.
And as that happens, a sound of whirling, as if the sea itself begins to shift again, is heard, and then each of you begin to hear what sound like whispers just barely on the edge of your ears begin to fill around the area. As from behind you all, the sea begins to grow crimson in color as something begins to shift and stir within it. Give me 1 second, as for some reason the token that I was trying to get in here is being really difficult. Because I don't know where the freak it is. And it's pissing me off, you hear? Okay. It says it's uploaded again. Now I'm gonna see. Okay, finally. Jeez. Apologies. Don't know what was up with that. That was really strange and annoying. As this crimson begins to stir and move, as it does, as suddenly a figure takes shape behind you all in the crimson, almost blood-like energy that soaks around the area. You would see a tall figure take shape, adorned in what looks to be a black cloak. They rise up from the crimson. The cloak drawn, and beneath the hood itself, there is only shadows, not revealing a face or any other features beneath the hood as you look over. As this creature appears, looking out toward you all, and speaks out and goes, "Ah, it was curious to feel something different touch at the heart. And look what it is. Very much people out of place in this strange realm." Yes, there you are. Drop the token. And giving an exaggerated bow the figure will speak out and go, "I welcome you all, new visitors to this place. I am Furfur." And I will just show you guys this. You should see him.
And how do you spell this individual's name?
Well, it is... Oh, it's not on it. That's okay.
Oh, okay.
This is how it sounds, so...
Yeah. Are we supposed to know your name?
It would be strange if you did. I was simply introducing myself as one does when they meet new people. It is only polite.
Nothing is normal when you stand on the ocean floor, breathe as if there's air, and you arrive after the sea turns red and torrential.
All the more reason that we should not forsake common decencies. You've asked much of me, and I've introduced myself, but none of you have introduced yourselves.
I am
Hello,
Rashid.
I'm Metis.
Periwinkle is periwinkle.
Uzuk.
Boros, would you introduce yourself?
Yeah, I just gave him a quick "I'm Boros."
Oh, sorry, I didn't hear it if that's the case. Might have been everyone at the same time. Ah, and a pleasure to meet you all. Now, why are you here? You are not the denizens of this place. You
We
are
didn't
quite out of
come-
place, in fact.
We didn't come by choice. Our ship was sundered.
Your ship? And where was the destination of this vessel intended to be? As you guys are speaking and looking toward him, the distortions in the area do not affect him at all as you are looking toward him.
We have shared now that I explained their ship was sundered. More about us than you have of you. You who is unaffected by what affects us presently. And we can't see his face, right?
No, there's no face.
And you who either obscures your face or has none. I do not trust faceless entities named a basic noun twice over.
You don't trust me, and yet you all are the ones treading upon this place where you should not be venturing.
And you should.
Perhaps.
What are you doing here?
You brought me here when someone reached a touch toward the heart. I was curious why a new hand, one not born of the sea, was attempting to breach through the cage.
Are you its protector?
I didn't claim anything of the sort.
You were summoned here or alerted here by someone attempting to touch the gilded cage.
That is what I said, yes.
Which would imply you're linked to the cage or the contents somehow.
It would imply I'm watching it.
To what
You got an
end?
interest. You got a duty.
I am not bound by duty if that's what you ask me, but to be frank, you have led so coldly with me, I will return the favor back and have no desire nor need to tell you anything about why I'm watching it. I don't trust you.
Will you tell me?
Exchange for exchange. Where was your ship heading? And I will tell you, yes.
Oh, that's easy. We were headed to the New World. I guess these guys forgot or something.
The New World. Now, let me think. I have not spoken to one of your kind in quite a bit. I believe your people have taken to calling it Empyrea, yes?
That's the one.
Ah, a dangerous journey indeed. He approaches over to you, Metis. As he does, he draws closer in toward you. And hearing him in complete perfect volume, he speaks out toward you, explaining why he is looking upon the thing. None of you hear it. Only Metis will hear this, as if there's just no sound at all that emanates from him. As he speaks out toward you, Metis, and goes, I have a vested interest in seeing who it shall be who eventually breaks the cage and claims the heart. That is simply why I watch it.
Oh, okay. Meta says out loud.
And then he pulls back and takes a
What did
single
you
step
say?
back.
What did you say okay to, Metis?
What? He just was explaining.
Yes, as I said, an exchange of knowledge. He politely agreed, and I shared with him what he was curious about.
Metis puts a hand over his mouth, blocking the stranger. Not that it helps because he's right next to him, and he goes, he's just curious too. It's no big deal.
Periwinkle is curious. Periwinkle wants to know.
Yes, still is.
No, I mean, that's why he's watching the heart. He's just curious.
In a way, that is true. Oh, you all are in quite the predicament, though, aren't you? Are you
Yes.
So that's all the
aware?
people at the bottom of the sea.
Have you met any others at the bottom here?
Nobody alive.
You've not met anybody alive, to be clear.
Well, some fish.
Sure, but those that you would describe as people, amongst yourselves, you have not encountered anyone who is alive.
No people of the land have we found at the bottom of the sea.
There are no people of the land at the bottom of the sea who are currently alive.
Besides us.
No, there are no people at the bottom of the sea of the land who are currently alive.
Wait, are we dead?
Ah, there that is, yes.
And yet we fought, defended ourselves, have been harmed, and have killed while at the bottom of the sea. This is
And
not
yet-
where my soul goes to rest at the end of my day.
And yet, here you are, dead and pulled forth from your bodies. Spirits a wander at the bottom of this realm.
Oh.
Periwinkle would like to know if there's a way to fix this problem.
Death?
Yeah.
Hmm.
How do you fix it?
An ailment that many a scholar of your kind has attempted to solve for many years. Well, you are in luck. I do, in fact, possess a solution to your conundrum.
And what might that be?
Oh, well, it's simple. You all are dead. Your souls ripped from your corpses and left to wander within the fragmented realm of the divines that lay at the bottom here. It's quite simple to get you back within your bodies. There simply needs to be an infusion of divine blood done, and you will be whisked back to your forms.
Infusion of divine blood into gonna kind of wave around himself with his hands. Spiritual bodies?
Of course.
And what divine blood remains?
Very little. As you can see, this has been picked away at for many a year since they crashed to the bottom of the sea. I
Would
myself.
they be the uncaring one?
A name that was used for them in life, yes. Uncaring cold, that is.
Oh no, I know. That's just how Rashid would have said it.
Oh, sure. But he said, yeah, that it was a name that they went by in their life.
You said there are no living people down here. Are you not a person, or are you not living?
I am not like you, if that is your question.
You said on no uncertain terms, no living people.
I said no living people of the land. I am no creature of the land. Not your lands, at the very least.
She'll give a understanding nod at that. What divine blood do you have access to, then?
I do, in fact, yes, have enough divine blood I could infuse you all, and even transport your bodies to somewhere safe so that you were not instantly killed upon arrival. After all, since
fantastic.
you died at sea, I imagine your corpses are adrift somewhere within the cold waters of
Or
this
in the
place.
belly of a beast.
We would really appreciate that.
If your assumption is that the creature that you saw picking away at this devoured your corpses, you would be very incorrect.
There are many creatures of the sea that eat flesh.
That is true.
What exactly was that creature that was picking up this corpse?
A god.
Get out of town.
A deceased god or a new god?
A good question.
Or both?
Well, all things new are born from the ashes of what came prior. And just as that is true, the new god feasted upon the bones of this and has now achieved its power. Though it is still in its infancy.
And can't harm the cage.
You'll find that very few can. If any.
I ask
Periwinkle
again. Oh, go ahead, Periwinkle.
needs to find Penatar.
Ah, you seek the corpse of the Horned Watcher.
Well,
Look over at Boros.
she's not dead, but yes. Maybe. I am also not dead. There may be another body lying around somewhere here.
Well, on both accounts, but if you seek the remains of what once was the Horned Watcher, you would seek that upon the continent itself.
Then Periwinkle would appreciate any help you can give Periwinkle in accomplishing that.
I have not located the body of the Horned Watcher myself, so I'm afraid to say that I could not point you in the right direction.
If you can get Periwinkle alive and to the land, Periwinkle can find what Periwinkle needs to find.
Oh, certainly. It would be...
Periwinkle can offer you a gift, and Periwinkle is going to pull out one of the healing potions. And pulled it out.
a generous offer, but no, if I were to assist you, I have something else in mind. This is transactional in nature, I am afraid to say.
The Periwinkle assumed as such.
What do
Name
you
your
wish
price.
in return?
Sure, whatever you want, friend.
No, let him name his price. We can negotiate.
There's something I need done upon the continent. Something that, assuming you all live after I restore your bodies, you will do for me.
And that is...
Let's focus on the living part first, and then the details can be ironed out.
Let's have the agreement in full before we begin what is assumedly irreversible.
Information is a powerful tool. So to say, the continent is full of dangers, more so than even the sea that brought you here. I do not wish to fill your heads with knowledge that will be picked at by the creatures that may devour you before I ever have the chance to cash in that deal. So, no.
And if we refuse once you give us the information?
You cannot.
There are some things that Periwinkle cannot do.
Such
There are
as...
some things I won't do.
Well, Periwinkle cannot lift Boros, for example.
Your concern may be the physicality. No, this is nothing that will be beyond your bodily abilities.
Well, there are other things Periwinkle can't do, but as Fur just said, knowledge is secrets and important, so Periwinkle cannot share all.
Very true. I will say this. I do not the task will not be something that you all are not capable of doing.
And I imagine it won't be easy either.
Nothing is in this world.
True enough.
And what of our moral fibers?
Uzek would snort at that.
Some of us have stronger ones than others.
I can't speak to your moral fibers. I don't know them.
Which is why
You could be a vegan for all I know, and if I told you to eat meat, then I'd be violating your moral fiber.
That'd be pretty messed up.
I simply don't know you as people. How could I ever predict such a claim?
All right. So if you ain't going to give us the details as to what we're supposed to do, how about this? What are the consequences of not doing what you want us to do?
Assuming
failing.
Well, if you fail, that is simply as it is. I will cut my losses and move on. But if you willfully choose to ignore my instruction after I generously restore you to life, you will be sent exactly back to where you were. You will die again. Your souls will be forever left to a wander in whatever realm you have happened upon, and will never be able to restore to your bodies.
Does it involve killing?
I will reveal nothing of the task.
Oh, man. Please?
Periwinkle will agree if it is something that Periwinkle is allowed to do.
I mean, I'm apparently already dead, so I guess I'll agree to it, because I can't do anything otherwise.
Before I even truly died, my life was forfeit, so this doesn't change much. I'll agree to your terms. What the hell?
It seems that we must agree to this to get out of this situation. But like Periwinkle, if this is something I cannot do, I will not sweat it. And I can assuredly lift myself, thank you.
Pull yourself up by your
Rashid looks
bootstraps.
like. I'm sorry. What'd you say?
No, I was making a joke. Go on.
Rashid looks like genuinely like very conflicted. It has been a long time since I aligned myself in any dark goals, and you do not appear as a creature of light. However, I also learned long ago to judge one by their appearance judges yourself more than the other.
How kind of you
What?
to go past your preconceived notions based off my appearance, then?
Glad you're putting aside your biases, Rashid.
You have an understanding of the basic concepts of good and evil that my people consider at a basic level, I assume, Bertha.
You assume a lot.
You know a lot.
All people's concepts of good and evil are different. Even those who you agree with do not share similar views with you, you just don't know it yet.
Murder is considered an evil act.
And what is considered murder?
I take your point fairly. I'm able to make the choice to damn myself later if I'm not willing to do so. My only request is to know what the what the divine blood is from.
No, you're standing on top of it.
The blood, name. He would say the name this time. The blood of Thalseptus.
Mhm. Yes, I have been harvesting bits and pieces from this cadaver ever since it arrived here.
Do you have a relationship with the now dead gods?
No pun intended, but heavens no.
Jake, in your world, is there a solid concept of hell
Not
for
necessarily.
mortals? Okay.
In the same way that there are, like, concepts of demons and such in the real world, that's sort of the concepts of, like, hell and such.
Okay,
People,
so
like, they
there's
possibly exist, but
there's a theological concept, but not a known factual concept.
no. It's not like
Gotcha.
D&D, it's not like other worlds where it's a known fixture of, like, devils and demons existing.
Gotcha. And the persuasions of the opposite, the home of the of devils, or would they call devils or demons more commonly, or both?
I mean, you probably would only know the term demon.
Demon, okay. And of the demonic persuasion.
Do you even truly know what that word means?
It refers to a creature of evil that is opposed to the heavens.
If that is your definition, opposition to the heavens and such, then I have no relation to any things you're concerned about. But then again, there are no heavens to oppose any longer anyway.
But you weren't opposed to them before.
The past matters very little. Whether I was or I wasn't. We live in a new era, and we must adjust accordingly.
It informs me of your position on things.
It does not.
Look, Rashid, regardless of this person's allegiance prior, fact of the matter is, if he was opposed to the gods, guess what? He won. He was on the winning side. And right now, like he said, there ain't no more gods left. Like, you may take the moral stance that to be against the gods is bad for you, but if it helps you achieve your goals, if you take the power of something against the gods to bring forth righteous vengeance on the enemies of the gods, what does it even matter anymore? Be practical about it.
You are being practical, Uzak, but as I said before, and I do not mean this in a demeaning fashion, just in an observant one, we have varying degrees of strength of moral fibers. That being said, I gave my word to watch you to the back of all of you, as we did each other on that ship. And I came here to find truth. And Furfur didn't say there weren't gods. The heavens isn't there. In fact, looking back to Furfur, you said there was at least one. We just saw it.
That is in fact true.
I agree since they agree. And since you said we can choose not to do what you say, there's just a punishment for it.
A punishment being death, but yes.
Yes.
To be clear, I'm not encouraging you all to look at this as a go one way or the other sort of thing. You will die if you do not do what I ask of you. This is a fair and equitable agreement, and a fair punishment. I will simply revoke what I've given you.
I agree the punishment would be fair. And the fact that I can choose to accept the punishment instead of do as you ask is also fair. In fact, one might say generous of you.
Well, Speaking of moral fibers, we see now how different they are. As, in my moral view, it is not good to consider a contract of agreement something that can be broken simply by just accepting the punishment. Nevertheless, you all agree to take it through whatever means or justifications you have. I can infuse you with the divine blood then, and send you on your way to the continent. There is something that you need be aware of, though. Given your circumstance, when being revived by the divine blood, you will be in a rather unique situation. Having become arisen, you will be, how to say, quite tantalizing for many creatures.
So you're saying we're just going to become the... Go ahead, yeah.
Periwinkle is already used to things, trying to eat periwinkle.
I feel like on that island, this blood infusion is just going to make us a slightly tastier snack than anything.
Eating may not be the only thing they seek to do with you. The stability of your soul from the divine blood infusion will make you quite unique. There will be those that seek you for many a different thing, but all that to say, you will likely be in danger. Though that would exist whether you had arrived there alive or dead.
That's what I'm saying.
Something to be aware of, particularly since I will be transporting you. There will likely be a ping of magic that spreads out. I would be prepared to be assailed very quickly after you arrive. Spirits and other beings that have since lost their stability since the death of the gods will be looking for some way to ground themselves to the world again.
Well, I think I speak for all of us when I say that I appreciate the heads up.
Of course. This deal does not work out for me if all of you are killed.
Thanks, mister.
Now that we have agreed, will you tell us what this task is?
No. I will send one of my birds to find you once your survival has been guaranteed after, let's say, 3 days.
So you're hiring us on a temporary basis? Or no, that's not what the word. What's the fucking oh god, what's the word in employment when probationary? No, probationary period. I guess that would be like what I'm trying to go for.
No, you can think of it that way if you wish. I simply want to make sure my investments are not soured.
I got one more question for you.
Very well.
Why is it that, well, if what you're saying is all true, why is it then that when we were killed and died, we became these is corporeal spirit the right word?
Maybe, you don't really know.
But no, incorporeal would be if we were just spirits, but we're we by observation and if what he's saying is true, we're corporeal spirits.
What if everything we touch is incorporeal?
Oh shit! Oh no, I didn't think of
that. In the end, you really just don't know.
Yeah. So anyway, his question would be like, he says he doesn't know, or
no, you don't know.
Oh, okay. The question would be like, why when we were killed did we instead of just dying, we became corporeal spirits of ourselves?
A good question. You were ensnared already within the web of Empyrea when you had arrived. Those that die in this land do not find death to be so permanent. There is always a chance at renewal, so to say.
Renewal. It's an interesting way to put it.
It's what
I
you
think
all
it
will
is.
be given. Rebirth, renewal, however you'd like to describe it.
That fish fellow with the human face, was he renewed?
I have no clue who or what you're talking about. There are a lot of very strange creatures and animals that swim about this place. A fish with a human face sounds like the least weird thing I've seen.
Great. So we're in for interesting times if that holds true.
Nevertheless, death is not so permanent in this place, and that is why you were given the chance at rebirth. I will say, as note, per part of this deal, I mentioned in passing, but should you go back on it, that chance at renewal, at rebirth, will be revoked, and your death will be of a permanent kind.
So be it.
Just
I ain't
something to
changing my
remember.
answer.
What choice do we have?
There is always a choice, but at the very least, right now, it does seem like the cards are stacked in my favor, as your choice is between death and, well, life.
I have a question, and it is of the utmost importance.
Yes, of course.
What was your name again?
Furfur.
Furfur. Okay, thanks. All right, well, I'm good.
You got a good name, buddy. That's a name you can trust.
Why would he lie to me? He has no reason to lie.
Not with a name like that.
Probably a good guy.
There is
He's
just
reviving us.
one more thing. Though you don't
Oh,
need
anything.
to answer it if you so wish. It has nothing to do with our deal, a simple curiosity. Periwinkle says they were here seeking Penatar, the Horned Watcher. Is that what you all were coming here for? What was your purpose in seeking Empyrea?
Information for information.
I'm going to ask this supposed Godslayer how to get up to the stars with the rest of the Celestials so I could meet my god.
And when my friend here is done asking his question of the Godslayer, I'm gonna kill the Godslayer.
Did you, like, hand wave towards Rashid when you said your friend here?
No, he was talking about Metis.
Oh,
Metis
okay.
just said
Okay.
that he was gonna ask the Godslayer.
And I will keep them safe while they do all this.
The
Do not
Godkiller
eat any of them.
is who you seek.
Like I said before, my life was forfeit the minute I got on that boat. This was gonna happen to me eventually, so the fact that I get a second chance at achieving my goal, well, that's just peachy to me.
You are all being very quick to tell them what your purpose is when we are not to know theirs.
I don't really give a shit.
Enough. Periwinkle doesn't care. Periwinkle wants to get out of here.
Same.
He said we don't have to answer.
You did give us the choice, but you know,
That is true. I did give you the choice. Oh, the Godkiller. That is interesting.
consider it a down payment for or an advance on any information that you're gonna give us.
Well, if it is truly the Godkiller you seek, all I have to say is good luck.
Yeah, I do imagine that getting infused with god blood is probably going to make me a lot more susceptible than I already was to god killing abilities, but hey, you don't know if you don't try.
Nevertheless, I shall do as Periwinkle wished and get you all out of here. There will be some pain. My recommendations would be to not struggle too much. As he says that, he raises his hand up and snaps one of the clawed gauntleted fingers of his hand. As that snapping happens, a deep pool of crimson begins to form beneath each of you. Do any of you do anything?
Can I see this guy's picture again? Is there a place that I could look at that in the?
I think
the,
it should show up in
Where?
in actors now. You should be able to see
Actors?
Furfur.
Nope.
But
Nope.
nevertheless, I will show it off again.
Cool. I just wanted to see him again.
Let me see. Can I configure ownership? All players limited. I changed it now. Maybe you can see him.
Let's see.
No.
No.
I have 2 pop-ups. I didn't close the first one, so now I've got 2 of them. I'm hogging them.
It's all right. No, I just wanted to see.
Observer, I set it to now.
There
There
it
we
is.
go.
And if
Okay,
you
he's
click
level
on
5.
it,
I didn't even get that one.
well, that's annoying. I don't want that to be shown.
Oh no, I'm
so.
sorry. Yeah, no, I didn't. Yeah, okay, yeah.
Well,
Yeah, if
turning
it's
that off.
Too much info. Yeah, I'm sorry.
I'm in between worlds.
I'm in
You
the
could
Matrix.
upload a picture to him as a journal entry.
Yeah, I'll probably
and
do
that would be
something
avail-
like
you can
that.
make that available.
I'll probably do something like that at some point. Nevertheless, yeah, were any of you going to be doing anything as the pools of crimson appear beneath you after what he said?
Taking a breath that I guess I'm not really taking because I'm dead and underwater.
Metis is gonna wave to Furfur. Say, bye, friend. Thanks for this.
All right. Well, it sounds like none of you do anything. As the first instance happens, from the crimson ground, bubbling begins to erupt. As from the ground, 2 long tentacles shoot up, completely crimson in color, as they go to grab your arms and spread them outward. Do you do anything?
It's coming from the crimson blood.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. I would just see what's gonna happen.
Yeah,
Not-
Metis just
not-
lets it happen.
Following
I'd
the
ro-
advice of not struggling.
Yeah, I'd roll my eyes and be like, let's just get this over with.
And then as they hold you, and none of you do anything further, rising from the crimson tides, long proboscis-like needles begin to come forth out from the crimson pool. As each of them rise up, attached to a long, red-colored, almost fleshy, attachment that is like a wiggly and like almost like a worm. As they each rise up and go to 4 in total, go to inject into both of your arms and then 2 into your legs as well. Assuming none of you stop it, you are pricked by them, and then you begin to feel immense pain, as if you are having hot oil poured within your veins, as you are injected with this burning substance.
Does this feel like the spiritual damage that I just took?
It does
from touching the
not.
heart?
It was a
No?
different
Okay.
type of burning.
Okay. Go on.
This is almost like a cold type of burning, because as it burns through you, there's also like a cold that courses through your arms as well, as each of you are being filled with something from these, shooting out, panicking, and as they course through you, causing immense pain. As the pain courses through, it is a full 60 seconds before the needles retract, though it feels longer to most of you. And as the needles retract, the tentacles quickly yank each of you down as you are pulled and blinded in crimson for a moment. And as you are thrust through this pool of crimson, feeling yourself being pulled ever downward, why don't we take 5 minutes?
Nice. Here,
Because I will be RB as well.
Cool.
through this crimson pool. As you are being plunged through, feeling the burning in your veins, in your skin. Eventually, the sensation of being dragged and the pain is too much, and you black out. Very soon, though, you begin to stir awake, feeling groggy, but also at the same time invigorated, as you will awake to feeling cold, as you feel what feels like sprinkles of something coming down from the sky, resting on your skin coldly. And your eyes would come to a new scene. As you come to, feeling yourself atop a cold but wooden floor, as your eyes adjust and look about, and you find yourself atop the deck of the Gallivant again. Looking about, you see the ship is in near perfect condition. Strangely enough, there's no indications of any issues with it at all. It looks fully intact. The ship resting slightly upon what looks to be a icy glacier Arctic-like surface. And you all coming to atop it. Signs of what look to be movement and folk who have come and gone abound. As you all come to, and each of you will see one another. As a note, this dog is not here. There is no dog here. There are 2 dogs over up in the top, and they are not there.
Hey, it's a dog.
So just to be clear, I don't know why it
Dog
won't
is
ping.
Not fucking there.
But you all come to. You should also see snow on the map as well. It should be snowing as
Yep.
one of the effects. That looks
And
way...
you said there's evidence of people having come off this ship. And
There is, yes. As you all come to.
The ship at the bottom of the ocean.
More so than that, my friend, we saw this ship get cracked in half.
Maybe somebody else took a deal.
Maybe the ship
No.
itself took a deal. The ship's spirit was reborn.
Very possible.
I think we were tricked, is what I think.
I may be feeling inclined to believe you. Either that it was just a big old illusion meant to get us to effectively sign our names onto something that we do not know the particulars of. Or, well, I don't
Maybe
know.
It was a shared dream. Some weird magic of the island.
Who knows? Certainly these are strange times that we're in. I'm sure that we're going to encounter some more strange things that are going to leave us with more questions and no answers. But, looks like we're, and you would air quote, alive at the moment, so why don't we make the best of it?
Yeah, let's gather what we can and set off, I guess.
Does it seem like there's anyone else around, or it's just kind of us?
You look
We don't hear
around.
anything below deck or anything like that?
No, you hear nothing below deck, and you don't see anyone. The only thing you're hearing, the whistle of the wind as it comes and goes.
Also, Jake, so nobody has ever made it back from the island, but from what was there ever a source that said like, oh, it's a paradise, or it's like new, or was it just a new continent?
Yeah, nope. I mean, I believe the prompt is clear about what's said on that. Is that there speaks rumors of there being a paradise where none die in the Godkiller's domain.
Okay. So the word paradise.
So a single man people have returned. One person specifically returned and was killed for what they spoke of.
That's right. Yeah. Okay. That's right. Yeah, I remember now. Yeah. But Uzek would look around at the frozen wastes that we're seemingly in. He goes, interesting definition of paradise.
Periwinkle's gonna dig through his bag and he's gonna pull out his cold weather clothing and start putting it on.
It's a little chillier than I expected it to be.
My cold weather clothing gets pulled on as well.
I don't even
I
know
thought
if
this
have
was
cold
supposed to
weather.
be a paradise.
Well,
Many things
Maybe.
are subjective.
that is true. Maybe the paradise part of it was referring to specifically the immoral nature of the soul, if that is to be believed.
There's many things it could refer to, but this is also a continent. They could have never even seen the part we're on now.
Very possible. We have no clue as to the size of this here landmass, so it's not exactly like it's been mapped out, charted in any sort of respect. We just got one crazy person's ramblings and then shortly killed after. Not to say that I doubted his word. I clearly didn't, or else I wouldn't be here, but
To be clear,
Periwinkle
other
thinks
expeditions
to
have
others
returned. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh,
Sorry, what?
No,
Go
no,
ahead.
no.
Go.
I was gonna say I reread through the prompt again. Other expeditions have returned. Only the one guy came back about seeing something with the Godkiller. The other expeditions spoke of this land being fertile, having fertile fields stretching as far as eyes can see, towering structures made of bones, rivers flowing with golden waters that cured any wound, and the inheritors of divine blood living upon the land. There was a multitude of different rumors that surrounded the island.
okay.
But only
Even
one
so,
came
it
back
wouldn't
saying
really
the
change.
God Killer awaits on Empyrea within the Kingdom of Crimson.
Gotcha, okay.
Which is believed by Uzak, I believe.
Yeah. Again, or else he wouldn't be here. Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you, Periwinkle.
Periwinkle asks the others, "Did you not bring clothing?"
No, I did not.
I'm good with this.
This will be fine. I will just do exercise to keep myself warm.
I'll bear with it.
Periwinkle remind them that there might be things below deck. There were some dresses.
Desperate times, I suppose. Always wondered how I'd look in a dress, and he'd give like a sarcastic smile. And
I
yeah,
do not want to wear a dress if someone else needs.
Uzak would actually want to explore below deck to see if there are any sort of resources that he could plunder. Whether
Yeah,
that be food
sure.
or, whatever, coats, whatever.
As you go under deck, expecting the extravagant below deck of the Gallivant, as you enter, you don't see that. In place of the personal rooms with beautiful beds, large table set with extravagant dining, silverware and such, there is a pretty normal looking below deck. Hammocks set about for people to sleep in. Windows that look out where cannons are in place. And nothing alike what you saw beneath the deck when you were on the Gallivant.
Did anyone follow me down, or are they waiting for me above deck?
Periwinkle would have come.
Periwinkle, let me propose a theory to you. I don't think we're on the same ship.
Periwinkle agrees. Then again, Periwinkle knows nothing of ships. Periwinkle couldn't tell you if this was a different ship or the same ship unless it was a different size.
Well, just based on the layout of this here deck, seems a mite different. Don't know exactly what we're supposed to make of that, but my gut is telling me that this ship ain't the Gallivant, but who knows? Are ship names like on our real life modern ship names like written on the side of the ship or anything?
Usually.
Usually, okay. We'll have to check the broadside of the ship when we get off. Maybe it is the Gallivant. Its sister ship, the Gallivant 2 or something. I don't know. Regardless, let's look for something to, well, to bundle up with. Hell, if it don't work for keeping warm on my body, I could turn it into some sort of kindling later. And I'm assuming with Periwinkle's help, look for any sort of clothing that would help keep me warm, even if it was just a fucking sheet, like
Sure,
that
sure.
as a cloak.
As you look through this deck and then the lowest deck, of note, when you go to the lowest deck as well, same exact thing looks completely different than what you were on before. As note, this place is not picked clean, but seemingly all the cargo has been disported from it. As you look about, there is nothing left of just about everything that was on the ship, as it has been unloaded. However, between you and Periwinkle, you would be able to find sort of a mix of blankets and some cold winter clothing that you would be able to gather for everybody.
Okay.
Seemingly left behind in what seeming like was a hurry. As you're seeing signs of damage that was done perhaps to some of the cargo crates and such, as you're seeing bits of like rations and food spilled out or drink on the floor, and signs of like boxes being strewn about and moved like rapidly.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like whoever left in a hurry.
I'd make note of that and say it aloud to Periwinkle.
Well, Periwinkle doesn't see why you would stay on a ship when you have a whole new land to explore. Well, they have a whole new land to explore.
That is fair. Why confine yourself to a ship when land ho?
Those of you on the top deck, what are you doing?
Looking around.
Metis is scanning the
structure.
horizon.
Yeah, as you scan the
Just
horizon.
anything that would
No,
match the
absolutely.
description we had heard. Yeah.
Description of what? Kingdom and Crimson?
Of Empyrea.
Oh, so you're looking for the the things you heard in rumors. Yeah, no. I'm
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, as you're looking about, you don't see anything at first. Just looking about and seeing large, tall mountains or structures made of like covered in snow and ice. However, you do see. Ooh, am I here? What was that noise? Did you guys hear that?
No, but I hear you.
Nope.
Huh. That was weird. As you look on the horizon, you do see one thing, as it looks like mists part for a minute, and you all see a large light that is spinning off in the distance and illuminating parts of the area all around. A tall ivory tower where atop it sits a large light that is scanning about like a lighthouse, as you see this tall ivory lighthouse off in the distance.
I know I'm not up there, but when you say scanning about, is the light just going in a circle,
Yep.
consistently, or is it looking around?
Nope, circle.
Okay.
As all of you on deck would be able to see that.
I love lighthouses of all sorts.
Do you think we should pursue that when the others return, or when those two return up?
I think so. Looks inviting.
So does the... Never mind. It looks inviting.
I agree.
As like Rashid would like very clearly like just like kind of close his eyes and stick his nose up into the air a bit and just takes in a deep breath of the cold air, and despite that, cold air not gonna be feeling super amazing on the lungs, he has seemingly a relaxed smile for probably the first time since he's been on the ship.
Finally lightening up, my friend. The situation is dire, yes, but it is good to relax.
Situation is life. Life is dire. We're here.
Yep. Here we are.
Gonna like pat both. Despite not looking at Metis as he does this, he can put a hand on Metis' shoulder and plant a hand on up on Boros's, and looking at Boros and go, and we're going to find the truth together.
Cool. Glad to have you. Thanks for having me.
He pauses for a moment, and then smirks and just nods his head towards you, Metis.
As you guys are on the top of the ship, you begin to hear howling in the distance. As a creature howls, and then a howl is made in response to that. A howl is made in response to that then. And then another howl. And then after that last howl, there is a deep roar that echoes through the sky.
Is it directionally in the same direction as the lighthouse?
Hard to say.
Fair enough. Well, that doesn't sound good.
And I'd say probably those below deck arrive at top deck at that same time and would hear that same sound.
Yeah, that don't sound good.
Um,
So I don't think we're on the same ship that we were on. Don't look
not
like the
this
Gallivant on the inside. And not on the outside either, seeing as how it ain't torn in half.
There were 2 ships then that look like this?
Other ships have come here before.
I would assume, like other large things, such as buildings, there are many that work off of a similar frame and model.
Well, we'll know as soon as we look for the name of this here ship on the broadside.
Well, we should be prepared for what sounds like vicious animals potentially seeking us.
Yeah, Dallion don't seem like a good idea.
Did you find anything below useful for those of you without cold weather clothing?
Yeah, take your pick, and he'd toss whatever people needed to them.
Is there anything that would remotely fit Boros?
Probably if you combine like some blankets and such, you could probably make something like a makeshift like cloak.
What if we tore down the sail?
Well, you'd have to climb up and do that.
I was joking, you know.
But you could try.
He'd wrap some blankets around himself then.
Oh, yeah, you could definitely make like a makeshift like cloak for yourself if you wanted, Boros. I think you have proficiency in survival, yes?
Yeah. Alright,
Yeah,
I'll do that.
I'd say you'd be able to do that without a roll. I'll say, despite how cold it looks, despite the snow falling, despite the ice everywhere, it's overall not that cold. Like, it is cold, don't get me wrong, but the Arctic surroundings indicates that you should be freezing, almost. Instead, no, it's... Like I said, with your winter clothes on, you're comfortable and not, you know, staving off freezing. I'd say even with just your fur, Boros, you felt mostly comfortable. So with the blankets, you definitely feel fine. But it strikes you as odd.
Has the howling gone on again?
No, it happened for that instance, and then the roar happened, and then nothing. You have not heard anything since.
Oh, that was one thing I wanted to do. So if we are to believe that we are now back in our bodies, having been infused with god blood or whatever like that, do any of us feel, or well, I guess Uzak. Does Uzak feel any stronger in any sort, any different, or each?
You guys feel more invigorated, especially as you began to wake up. You feel much more energized, as if you have a lot more energy and stamina. But you've not noticed any differences in like strength necessarily.
Okay.
If we are going to be Sorry, I'm trying to think of how to do that in third. Periwinkle thinks that one should board up and prepare to defend if Periwinkle is going to be hunted? Or if we are to be hunted?
Instead of venturing out from the ship, you mean?
Periwinkle will nod at that.
It's not a terrible idea, but depending on how many things set upon us and for how long, holding out may become, or just staying in place and trying to hold out might not be the best idea, but then again, we don't know the terrain. Running in one direction could prove, frankly, more perilous.
Periwinkle will just point out it is easier to hold a door against many than it is to cover all sides.
Okay, Periwinkle. I see your point. This is, by my estimation, a pretty defensible position. If everybody's in agreement, how long we want to wait till something comes for us?
Where's the sun at in the sky?
Or do we want to
You do not see the sun.
Based
As you
on
look
the
up
howling,
to the sky, you only see large clouds and mist. But
and given Periwinkle's background, could he kind of have an idea of how far maybe the howling was?
can you give me a survival check?
Yeah, 11.
You get the impression nearby.
Periwinkle thinks we will not have to wait long if they come for us.
I'll trust them ears of yours.
I
Okay.
would say a few hours wait, at most.
Periwinkle's going to point out that, are we going to fight up here or fight below?
I think up here's our best chance. Unless these things. Okay. Jake, is the ship? I'm assuming this. How do I, oh yeah, there you go. Yeah. This right here is the only way on board the ship? Is it high enough that like something would have to use this staircase to get on board,
Well, unless they can jump very well.
or they fly? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think on top, we got a good line of sight for anything that's coming towards us. And unless it jumps real high or flies, it's going to have to use them stairs right there. So personally, my money's on staying up here. Boros, I think you should post up by that there stair. You know, try not to let too much slip through, but whatever does, we'll clean it up. And if it does slip through, and if not, we'll just stab at it from above, I guess. Sound like a plan? Anybody got any better ideas?
Sounds good to me. I will hold the line. I will move myself to the stair.
Sure.
Periwinkle
Post up
wishes you
my
luck.
new shield. Oh, my new big shield.
Periwinkle is going to flap out his wings, and is there a crow's nest?
Doesn't look like it.
Oh, excuse me, sorry.
Give me 1 second. There does not seem to be a crow's nest.
So there's no even a little platform.
Well, there's a little thing up
Right
there.
here.
You mean you can, but it's not a crow's nest. But yeah, that
Okay.
thing is right there.
Yeah, Periwinkle's gonna fly/climb his way up to that.
Sure, you're free to do so. As you
Just
can
take up a
do that.
position.
You are certainly free to do so.
Is this a hole? Or by a hole, I mean is a gap. If they were to come up the stairs, would this be a gap for them to this square be a gap they could move past?
What do you mean?
Like if a creature came up the stairs and Boros was right there, could it sidestep Boros to this space if nothing is there to get on?
I mean, possibly that's like ground. I mean, that's the side of the ship.
Okay. Then I will stand there.
Yeah, I'll actually,
Unless you want to stand here.
no, I would direct Metis to go to this side to look out over, like, on the right side.
Sure.
But otherwise, I would want to be close to the stairs where I'm going to assume things have to come up.
Sure,
I want to be
sure.
at least within 20 feet of everyone.
That's why I was asking if you wanted to be here, Uzak, because I have a reach weapon and you don't.
Oh, okay, yeah, fair. Yeah, then let's switch. Yeah, just I guess everybody post up where they think they'd be most effective. Like I said, I would just if we're going to be looking out this way, then I would have somebody else wanting to look out that way. Periwinkle, obviously. Yeah, Periwinkle could probably see all of it, but 2 pairs of eyes on this side, 3 pairs of eyes on that side. Who knows? Yeah.
Sure. As you guys are setting up as you do, having come to, no sun visible in the sky, but lighting ambient from what seems to be light coming barely in past these large clouds and this wall of mist that is on the horizon. As you guys are going about, though, suddenly your ears are assailed by a loud, hard noise. The direction of the large ivory lighthouse, you begin to hear a blaring sound like a ship horn to all of us in real life. As it blasts and blares all about, and as it does, it grows dark. As the shadows close in,
Ooh.
and you all are pulled
Okay.
into darkness. If you can
for
see,
darkness.
it is only by luxury of low light or dark vision. As I think some of you just straight up can't see right now.
Uh-oh.
I mean,
Unless anybody says I can't see, I'm gonna assume everybody has dark vision. I don't know.
I've
how
got
they-
low
Oh.
light, so everything is.
I certainly
Nope.
cannot see.
Low light is low light.
Yeah, this is no light.
This is
This is
no
no
light. You can see
Menace
in
is going to cast a light on himself.
So
So,
low light
Jake-
is dim light that you can see in. You need dark vision to see in darkness. And if you have dark vision, the map you're seeing right now is in black and white. If you have only low light, you see darkness and only are seeing what looks to be like little dots that represent each of you.
Yep. I'm
Okay.
seeing.
This will cast light on, I guess, what am I holding again? I'm holding some kind of weapon. My mace. I'm going to cast light on my mace.
So you're going to cast it on something you're carrying. How do I
Yeah.
make you emit light? Oops,
I got it.
sorry.
Oh.
There you go.
Like that.
Ooh,
I just
that's
dragged
so
the effect.
Cool.
Oh wow,
Ta-da.
That's so
Well,
cool.
color and then black and white beyond. All right, this definitely annihilates roll 20 on handling darkness.
Dude, that's so sick, dude. Founder's
Isn't it?
sick.
Oh, you should try getting, like, a blind sense. It's so cool.
Blind sense, that's cool. Yeah.
Like, having a certain type of vision, it reflects it very cool.
Hmm. Well, Metis, normally I'd chastise you for making yourself a target, but making yourself such an obvious target. But it seems like they were on their way anyway, so
I couldn't see.
I realize
It's very dark.
it sure is.
Not all are blessed by birth with eyes that can see in the night.
You guys also could have taken out a torch. If you equip it to your hand, it has a torch effect, I think.
Ooh.
But, you know, I'm sure everyone's hands are full.
I hold a turned weapon, and I
Full
can
of
see in the dark.
death.
I mean, you could pull a torch out and just hold it, you know? Or put it somewhere if you want.
I actually have a free hand, but, you know, I didn't want to... I've got the magic.
I want to, show off a little bit.
I got the magic in me.
Just going to point out that sailing ships are highly flammable.
Oh, it's cold enough. I'm sure it'd be fine.
Yeah, the snow will do wonders for that stuff.
The snow will put it out.
Yeah.
Periwinkle, do you need light? I have a bullseye lantern you could borrow.
A periwinkle will. Well, periwinkle's like, how many feet up in the air? In his little perch?
It's probably like 60 feet up, I'd wager.
Yeah. So, a periwinkle can see what's going on down where the light is.
Alright. I'm curious what happens if I light my bullseye lantern.
He puts a bullseye on your face.
How does one do that in the character sheet? Do I pull it somewhere, or...?
So, in your inventory, lantern bullseye, and change it to held.
How
There you
do I
go.
do that?
There you go. Now it's held. I just changed it
Oh,
for you.
I
And
see
now
the
what you can
symbol is.
do is, if you want, you see how I'm turning your token? The way I'm doing that
Yes.
is that I am clicking on your token, I see the box around the token, and then I hold control and use my mouse wheel. And you can then
Okay.
turn the light wherever you'd like. So you can turn it whichever direction you want that light to be facing.
I can make my guy dance. Whee! Too much power. That's
Wait,
awesome. I love it.
what do you... I'm sorry. I do what and hit control?
Hold
Control mouse wheel.
and scroll the mouse
Mhm.
wheel.
Oh, hold controls. Thank you.
No
I had it
worries.
backwards.
That's so sick. I love that, dude. That's so cool.
Where
I know
do
it's
you want?
it should be a simple thing, but
Where do you want the light, Periwinkle?
If periwinkle doesn't know which direction they're going to come from.
just keep scanning, I guess.
Also, periwinkle doesn't want to have to keep shouting to talk.
They're coming one way or another. They know where we are.
Okay.
as you guys are about, you also hear around you crunching noises. What sounds like bone snapping over and over again around the sides of the ship and about everywhere. If you shine lantern toward the direction that you hear the noise, there is nothing to be seen there.
Bone snapping around the ship?
Yeah, crunching noises as if bone is being snapped.
Okay.
As you guys hear that, I mean, people, if they're trying to keep an eye out, can roll a perception check.
Yeah.
Sure.
Periwinkle's searching.
Mm-hmm.
Today is not my night.
No, it is not. Boros, in this darkness, you're the only one who spots anything, unfortunately, as Metis. Oh, no, that Metis will be good too, actually. As Metis and Boros, the two of you scanning about, you're able to spot something off in the distance somewhat out this way. In the darkness somewhere over here. As you see, waiting behind what is cover, moving somewhat, and just watching, 5 pairs of eyes. 4 low yellow eyes staring out toward you all. And then 1 taller set of blue eyes that stare out in the direction of you all. Boros, I'd say, trained in survival. The eyes the yellow eyes look bestial, as if you're looking towards some sort of creature. But even then, there's a sort of intellect behind them that you've not seen in many creatures before. The icy blue ones scan you all over with cold, daring intellect as they stare and they just wait.
And they were up in the northeast, kind of
Yes.
here, around this rock.
Yes, past the rock.
I would say to Periwinkle and Uzek and who's next to me? Is that Rashid there? Yeah. Well, I wouldn't have to shout to Metis or anything to talk to him, would I?
He's
I
right
mean,
next to you.
We're pretty close.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Hey.
So we're all... Oh, Periwinkle wouldn't hear. Nah, that's okay. I would kind of keep my voice low anyway to not draw more attention, and I'd let them know there are 4 sets of eyes, yellow.
5. Okay, yeah,
8
sorry. Yeah, no, yeah.
predators' eyes. They watch our movements.
Would you point in their direction?
Thoughtful actions, yes.
Horrible yellow eyes.
As you try to, as the light goes to shine out that way, it does not go far enough to illuminate anything.
And a 5th pair of eyes, different from the rest. Colder, calculating. They watch us. They see all of us, but perhaps not the small one yet.
And Periwinkle is unable to hear this whispering, I'm assuming?
It's
Is this
fine.
an
Periwinkle
exceeding?
can hear it.
Okay.
Okay.
Further than my light reaches.
They just watch us for now. No movements yet.
Well, we're not gonna go to them, so we gotta make them come to us. And I also have my doubts that we're gonna be able to scare them away with a warning shot.
What if they just leave?
Well, anything's possible, but something tells me that if they do, it won't be for long. Here's I think what we should do. Let's assume that even without the light, they can see us, whether that be with their eyes or just sensing where we're at. Clearly, the darkness is on their side, seeing as how it got quite dark after for a little bit, or a little bit after those howls went off. And again, if we're making the assumptions that those howls are those pairs of eyes over there, then they're in cahoots. So let's see if we can't make them think that they got an advantage. Here's my idea. We kill the light. We head downstairs. And we prepare a surprise for them. When I shout, Metis, you turn on the lights so you and Periwinkle can see. And then we jump them. Should only be, well, I don't know. Examining the ship, is there only one way down into the hold? Or is there multiple?
Only one that you see.
Okay. By my estimation, there should only be one way into the ship for a fairly large, or like a fairly normal-sized creature. So if we post up there, make them think that they are coming in under the cover of darkness and we're not aware of them, maybe we'll get a shot. In an enclosed space, it'll be harder to fight, for sure. But at least we'll have set the playing field. Anyone else got a better idea? Because from the way I look at it right now, we're just going to be sitting our asses off here in the cold while they wait for us to tucker out, or I don't know, for something else to happen. They don't seem keen on moving in with our light shining every which direction, so this is the best plan I got on such short notice.
Sure, why not? Sounds better than just waiting for them to walk up.
Yeah,
They are watching us. I have turned the light towards them, which means they probably believe that we're aware that they're there.
it's possible, but
And it's also possible that if we don't show weakness and we remain prepared, that there won't be a fight.
I think we have to operate on the assumption that fear is not like fear, confidence, and bluster are not going to be in our favor until proven otherwise. Out of an abundance of caution, we got to assume that these things are here and that they're smart and they're here to kill. So we're going to try to bait them. And if that don't work out, well, we'll figure something else out.
Where does everyone else stand on this?
I do not think the bait will work on these ones. They have seen us before we have even seen them, and yet they wait for us. I do not know if waiting is the right option, but I do not think we will be able to trick them.
What's the alternative then? Running for it? We got to deal with this threat right now.
We know where they are.
You want to go towards them?
Boros can see them. We can watch their movements as we move.
Okay. I see your point. I don't think that's gonna fix much of anything, because who's to say that while Boris is looking at them, something else that we can't see moves up behind us. So unless everybody, or unless at least a couple of us, are able to catch sight of these things. And again, this is under assuming that just by staring at them and holding our ground, that they're not going to rush in on us.
They're not moving, correct?
So what Boros and Metis can see, yeah, they haven't moved.
I trust Boris's opinion that there's intelligence behind those eyes.
An intelligent creature isn't going to attack without thinking that they can win without taking more harm than is worth the risk.
That's what I'm saying. Make it think that it's got the advantage. If it doesn't work out, then it'll just at least give us an indication of its levels of intelligence.
We go below deck. There's no guarantee that we know where they are when we come back up.
Periwinkle has maybe an idea?
Let's hear it, Periwinkle.
Periwinkle asks how far one can throw something, and if light could be put on it, then just throw it in their direction to reveal them.
How far could I throw a coin, Jake?
I mean,
My strength score.
And there's nothing like a ballista or cannon on the deck?
no. Throwing equipment. How far can you throw? So, by rules, you can throw something up to 6 range increments. Should be able to throw a torch 60 feet.
Periwinkle has an idea, and Periwinkle will hover down from his perch. And he's going to hold up a bullet to Metis.
Ooh, cast light on the bullet? That's interesting.
Metis takes the bullet. Thank you.
Yes, my friend, thank you.
Cast light on it, Metis.
Oh, okay. And we'll just go ahead and cast light again.
This is an idea. I like this one. I'm going to go with this.
Periwinkle will ask Boros to point in the direction that he wants. And he's going to load the lit bullet in his long rifle.
I still point out towards him. I mean, I still see them there, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah, I mean, how would light casted on a bullet work?
I don't know. I assume it would just illuminate where the bullet hits, and as the bullet passes...
What type of gun do you have?
A long rifle. It's got a range of 120, so it can shoot quite far.
Not a matter of how far it can shoot that I'm concerned about.
And it's using round circular balls.
Yeah.
You know, like olden day guns.
We're close to end of session now anyway. So what I'm going to do is we're going to call session.
Okay.
And I will have an answer for what's going to happen next week, obviously.
Okay.
As we're going to call session here. What was that?
No, I was just going to say, I think that's a cool idea, though.
I don't disagree. I think it's a cool idea. I just need to think about
if it is able to work out or whatever.
Nevertheless, that is going to be the session today. We are going to, for now, end here. As next week as well, due to being infused with divine blood, you can level yourself up to level 3.
Oh, cool.
Woo!
As you will be level 3. And that is going to be today's session. Sorry for it being shorter because we started late. But I'm going to go ahead and end that right now and end the stream if you guys want to say goodbye to the stream.
I stream.